Hi there, looks like you're looking for some insight about the all-new Toyota Camry, and I sure hope I can help you out. My name's Chris Wardlaw, and I'm the editor here at Daily News Autos. Now for this review, we're evaluating a Camry SE Hybrid, which starts at just over $30,000. As this one sits, the sticker price is just under $34,000. And just in case you're wondering, Toyota wants you to pay an extra $4,300 over a Camry SE with the standard 4-cylinder engine in order to get the hybrid powertrain. Okay, so let's take a closer look at the all-new Toyota Camry, which has, for many years, been the best-selling and one of the most dependable cars in America. When you buy a Toyota Camry, there's two ways you can get it. You can get it sporty, like this one, which has a face that looks like the business end of a dustbuster, or you can get non-sporty, which has a face that looks like the business end of a pair of hair clippers. So it's really up to you. Obviously, this is the sporty one, and in addition to that angrier face, you've got larger aluminum wheels here. You've got these fat rocker panel extensions that actually make it harder to get in and out of the car. And then around back, you've got some very exciting styling details. You've got this racy rear spoiler. You've got these weird fake air vent thingies. And then down here, you've got something that looks like dual exhaust, but this guy right here, that's fake. And then of course you have a diffuser panel because no weekend track event car is good without one, right? Not that you're gonna be doing that with a Camry SE. Personally, my favorite of the entire Camry family is the XLE model, but you know, you might go for this. So for 2018, all Camrys get a sportier interior design to go along with the exterior design. As you can see, Toyota really wants to emphasize the fact that the car is more fun to drive by providing this driver-centric cockpit. You've got this dividing line that kind of cuts right across the bottom of the center stack here and really emphasizes that this car is about the driver and not the front passenger. The control layout is real easy, simple to use. Everything's located pretty much where you expect to find it, except for that tuning knob, which is located right underneath the power volume knob. It takes a while to get used to that. More than once, I've tried to adjust radio station tuning by changing the temperature of the front passenger temperature control. But, you know, after a while, you do get used to it. As far as materials are concerned, the seats are leatherette with cloth inserts. They're very nice. They're very comfortable. Plastics and materials on the upper part of the cabin are very nice. They're soft to the touch. Here you've got exposed stitching. But the further down in the cabin you go, the harder and the cheaper the plastics get, but that is to be expected in a car in this price class. Now, as far as comfort is concerned, the seats themselves are quite comfortable. The driver's seat in my test car is multi-way power adjustable, and it includes lumbar. The front passenger seat offers a manual seat height adjuster, which is something that is really greatly appreciated in my household. Comfort problems are related to the fact that you cannot get a heated steering wheel in a Camry. You cannot get ventilated front seats in a Camry. And because they've engineered the car to sit closer to the ground for a lower center of gravity and more enjoyable driving dynamics, it's harder to get in and out of the car because the seating hip point is lower. Plus, on the SE models with the wide door sills and rocker panel extensions, you actually end up dragging the backs of your pants against them every time you get in and out of the car. So if you live somewhere where your car is going to be dirty most of the time, your pants are also going to be dirty most of the time. Now, as far as the back seat is concerned, I think that Toyota somehow made a miscalculation when they were redesigning this vehicle because it actually seems smaller in the back than the previous Camry. It seems smaller in the back than most of the competitors in the midsize sedan segment. And honestly, I'm not sure it's roomier back there than a typical Toyota Corolla. Plus, in my test car, which I'll remind you costs almost $34,000, there's no air vents here in the back of the center console. And my kids were complaining about how hot they were in this car. Also, you can't get heated rear seats in a Toyota Camry this year. So I'm not exactly sure what Toyota was thinking about when they were just making all these decisions. I'm not sure what cars they benchmarked, but it seems like with regard to certain comfort issues on the interior, they really fell short. The new Camry has Toyota's latest version of its Entune infotainment system, and it looks terrific. It's got this nice flush display. It looks very modern, very classy. Everything's laid out in a very simple way. It comes with, every one of them comes with a connected navigation app. So when you're connected, when your smartphone is connected via USB port, you run your own data plan and you've got a navigation system. It's really well done with, of course, a single exception or maybe multiple exceptions. You can't get Apple CarPlay or Android Auto in 2018 Camry. You can't get it in any Toyota, actually, and that's because Toyota is concerned about privacy issues associated with that technology. What they give you instead is Entune apps. So you can easily, if your phone is connected, you can easily, there's the Scout navigation app. You can run Pandora, you can run iHeartRadio, Slacker, there's a Yelp app. It's not loading because my phone's not connected, most likely, but there are multiple apps here that you can use to go ahead and operate things off of your smartphone. But given the number of competing models that come with smartphone integration that's Apple and Android compatible, I think that Toyota is going to be forced at some point to go ahead and offer those, because I'll bet they're losing some sales because of it. One thing I do want to point out about this system is you've got stacked power and tuning knobs. Okay, now this is actually pretty smart. They're close, you don't have to reach really far, and they're sized differently, so they're easy to tell apart. The problem is that ever since I got this car, I've been actually trying to tune the radio using this guy over here, which is for the front passenger climate control. I'm sure over time I'd get used to it, but you know, it is what it is, right? Let's see. As far as safety is concerned, every Camry comes with Toyota Safety Sense, which includes things like forward collision warning, automatic emergency braking. Very important safety technologies, standard on every Camry. That is an excellent move. Also, through Entune, there's something called Safety Connect Services, I think. It's free for the first 3 years of ownership, and it includes things like automatic collision notification, SOS emergency calling, and a couple of other connected services options. Those are great things. Also, this Camry is exceptionally safe. If you look at safercar.gov and you look at the NHTSA ratings on this thing, or you go to the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety's website, you're going to find that the new Camry, the 2018 model, gets top marks across the board in everything. And the hybrid, I didn't look this up for all Camrys, so I apologize, but the hybrid even has a 5-star rollover resistance rating, which is pretty rare. And you know, I can't say enough good things about Toyota Camry safety. So the new Camry's trunk is another example of some good mixed with some bad. First of all, the good thing is that on hybrid models, the battery pack no longer impedes on trunk space, and you've got a trunk pass-through to the rear seat. So that's great if you're buying a hybrid. If you're not buying a hybrid, the trunk has actually gotten smaller. It's now 15.1 cubic feet, and unfortunately for Toyota, the new Accord's coming out, and the Accord's trunk is over 10% larger than this one. But look, practically speaking, you can fit 2 full-size suitcases side by side. There's some space here for a compact folding stroller. So, you know, it depends on what you're planning to carry, right? You may be just fine with this somewhat small trunk. It's small for the segment too. Another misstep, in my opinion, is that Toyota did not provide any kind of a handle here or any kind of a slot to help you close the trunk. And so what you have to do is put your hands on the outside and slam it shut. If you live someplace where your car's dirty all the time, then that means your fingertips are going to be dirty all the time. As for storage inside, aside from the really big center console bin, storage space is kind of stingy. The door panel pockets are not particularly large. There's a small bin under the wireless charging tray. A lot of the storage areas, like the little coin box, they're not lined at all. So when you put things in there, you might have some vibration on rough roads, and that just is a constant source of irritation for a lot of people. So, some good with some bad, which seems to be the story about the Camry just in general. There are 3 different engines that you can get in a 2018 Toyota Camry. The standard engine is a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine, making just over 200 horsepower. In certain trim levels, you can get a 3.5-liter V6, making just over 300 horsepower. And in the Camry Hybrid, you've got a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine paired with an electric assist motor, a battery pack, a continuously variable transmission, and a regenerative braking system. Now, altogether, this hybrid makes 208 horsepower, but it also weighs a couple hundred pounds more than a standard Camry. So the actual acceleration gain is negligible. It's basically imperceptible. The reason to buy this car is for its improved fuel economy. At the same time, there's no downside to getting the hybrid, especially now that it's been packaged in a way that it doesn't force any kind of interior or trunk constraints. The only issue is that it's more expensive by over $4,000. Given the substandard fuel economy that I experienced while I was driving this car, I would say that you're best advised to save the $4,300 and just get a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine in a standard Camry SE. So let's address the elephant in the room, shall we? The EPA says that the Camry hybrid in SE trim is supposed to get 46 miles per gallon in combined driving. Out of my test loop, I got 38.3 miles per gallon. Now that is not an atypical result with a hybrid. Usually, in my experience, hybrid vehicles are wildly overrated by the EPA. But what it does is it makes it really hard to justify the $4,300 surcharge that Toyota commands for the SE hybrid over the standard SE. Oh, and by the way, the hybrid's gas tank is also 3 gallons smaller. Now, with that said, acceleration with this drivetrain is actually pretty brisk, and the CVT behaves itself nicely. There are paddle shifters right here on the steering wheel, but for the most part, they're pretty useless, and I really don't see why Toyota bothered. The regenerative brakes feel almost just like normal brakes. There's occasional grabbing, very occasional odd and uneven response, but there aren't any jerky stops associated with them. They did a great job of resisting fade under duress, and for the most part, they feel completely natural underfoot. The steering is also nicely weighted, and it provides even linear response throughout the range of motion, along with a very nice and secure on-center feel. It's fairly quick and accurate too, although I wouldn't call it sharp. Now, one of the best things about the new Camry is the suspension tuning. The ride is compliant, but handling impresses at the same time, and the tires grip a lot better than I expected, given that this is a hybrid. Toyota also spent a lot of time focusing on the Camry's dynamic tuning, and it shows, especially in comparison to the previous generation car. This is a genuinely enjoyable car to drive, which I'm not sure anybody has ever said about any Camry in the history of Camrys. The new Toyota Camry is a study in contrasts. There are many great things about it, but at the same time, I'm left scratching my head over the car's seemingly obvious flaws. Collectively, the good ends up canceling out the bad, but the end result is average. I doubt that's what Toyota was aiming for here. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope you found it useful. If you're looking for more details about the new Toyota Camry, be sure to read my full review at Daily News Autos. Also, please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until next time, safe travels.